The Witcher Season 2 finally arrived on Netflix recently after the Henry Cavill fantasy series was commissioned even before the first series hit the platform. Fans now have questions about the show, particularly about whether Geralt of Rivia and Triss Merigold are going to get together. Netflix series The Witcher is back with a second thrilling installment following delays caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Season 1 was released in December 2019 and took little time to become a big hit and one of the most watched shows in the same year despite its late release. The Witcher has been adapted from the books by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. The first outing set the scene with Geralt of Rivia, played by Henry Cavill, embarking on numerous adventures while the kingdom of Sintra fell to the warmongering religious extremist people of Nilfgaard. Season 2 will continue with this battle between the two kingdoms which threatens to rip apart the continent. Yennefer Vengerberg, Anya Chalotra, tried to channel all her powers to stop Nilfgaard, but it was ambiguous what befell her. She seemed to vanish into the ether, and the fate of the continent remained a mystery. Also, the finale of Season 1 saw Geralt and his child of surprise Ciri, Freya Allan, finally meet as he swore to protect her. During Geralt's adventures, he encountered a character called Triss Merigold, Anna Schaefer, who enlisted his service when the kingdom of Temeria was threatened by an unknown creature. Triss and Geralt worked together after discovering the creature was Striga and was the cursed princess as well as being heir to Temeria. The sorceress and the Witcher worked together successfully and formed a bond. However, there didn't seem to be anything sexual between them. Nevertheless, there's been speculation the duo could become lovers in Season 2. In the Witcher video games, which are incredibly popular in their own right, Geralt has to choose between Triss and Yennefer. Players can only pick one of them, but not both of them, otherwise the consequences aren't going to be great. At the start of the games, Geralt has lost his memory and forgets both Triss and Yennefer. He meets Triss, who seduces him and keeps Geralt to herself, never speaking of Yennefer. With Triss being a love interest in the games, it seems likely she could translate into the TV show, depending on the direction the writers want to take. The Witcher TV series looks like it's sticking closer to the original source material rather than the video games, which could also have an impact on how prominent Triss's role in the show will be. Saying this, the show has had some deviations from the source material with the bard Dandelion being changed to Jaskier, Joe Beatty. Also, Geralt enjoys playing the card game Gwent, but Hits hasn't made it into the small screen adaptation as yet. So, there is scope for Triss to have a bigger role in the new series, even though she's less high profile in the books. The Witcher showrunner Lauren S. Hisrich has also addressed why Triss wasn't featured very much in Season 1. She explained to Comic Book, "You will see Triss again, but the most important thing, and I love this question, because there have been a lot of questions actually about the choices that we make to change things in the adaptation, and what I've always said is there is always a reason to do it. We're not doing it for our egos. We're not doing it because it's easier. What we're trying to do is set up the appropriate building blocks for our story, so there is stuff that I know that I want to happen to Triss in Season 1 and Season 2, and, God willing, beyond that. So I need to make sure that that story is set up appropriately, and the best way to do that was actually to bring her and introduce her in a story that she's not in the novel." From Hisrich's words, Triss is going to be a big part of the show going forward, but whether or not she will sleep with Geralt remains unknown.